Anas Aremeyaw Anas one Honorable Kennedy Agyapong omu court case no medimidi ye so wo clue kakra e de efa ho ma post to video no sa wo pa hwa betumi akọ this particular link nyabotreme nkokra enkonkohwe because me ba be break bibia down e de amount ebinum a kire say $10,000 ebinum so e ka say $18,000 which aya papa we ye friend no Honorable Kennedy Agyapong ono ena no ye Asin Central Emrashe bidwani mechire MP wasaye business takum a chese ne businesses edoso pa obetumi nso kra afre no ensamfo ahi because asembia na wasa waka no utumika kan wu pa eno no ena abrante we senso ye frɛ no Anas Aremeyaw Anas edi ayenim eno no but we don't actually know se ni dinum pokra no se eye fake Anas original ne de. But one thing I can assure you of, and say abrante de bia or mask, and unti share them who a rare identity. Nemum yewo images be bra ababe toja. Ya chesa wonwa. You can choose one for yourself. And also, I just sabria me no woka say de baako akwaka baako ho asem bone. Ama baako e de baako akopie court ama court to say baako ntua sika bi emfama baako ani asoja say gong. Mora. Entia beje na mebema the technicalities any secretary ewo Anas Aremeyaw Anas ne court case of file against Kennedy Agyapong no eho ensem no emu but answer kran de bekom no. Don't forget #support Kofi Adoma eye campaign na ekoso obetumi afa information ya eda wo screen si ani Momo Number ene GoFundMe Link na wonso watumi ashow wa appreciation kakra ede akire Kofi Adoma concerning eye ne eye surgery ya oguso a okono eho Kofi Adoma mesere wo bia sika but we dey eye a way to show your appreciation because Kofi Adoma ono so wasom Ghana in one way or the other yenya santesem ene bonosem no ento nchen na yenhunu se oyonkoda ene woda na sa wo penitietia mu dia YouTube wa de ko description box nim information ni nyina egu honom Meso so person send baby kakra e de fa Momo no so a edin a ebeba no eye Stephen Kofi Adoma Stephen Kofi Adoma edin foforo bia eba men send usika emfa so wate medase enu ti efa Anas Aremeyaw Anas one Kennedy Agyapong omu court ho ensem ya aba awiye no eho de ehwase efri somewhere 2020 6 January June mu honum na chese eye ade a achepa na ni nyina no de kofa ba ye no eye Anas number 12 a o release ye concerning eye Kwesi Nantachi former GFA boss a chese ni okoye katase sene mumu asuo bi a ebeba beto dwa Ghana fo e kan say Kwesi Nantachi wo se president ehwe ubotom eno ene nam so Kwesi Nantachi omu epam no ema eye current one yin so a omu che so mo ne homodin ono so oda so etisu na sem we say eba ye no ena Kennedy Agyapong esu mu eno nti no mu amu trace this case ne there from 2020 2019 eba besi 2022 there ene sa issue we say ejina mu pa na then Honorable Kennedy Agyapong Asin Central mrashe bedwani enso efato no boso se wanhwe na wono so ankanta eye number 12 na eye ade se MPP omu anim begu ase ene we ye videos e de kanta eye Anas Aremeyaw Anas a otu ni din say who watches the watchman and also ebe one of the popular videos eba abonten ewo oh my Ghana mu na sa video we say mu no ene obegigi eye footages bi ne pictures bi e kire ye say Anas aye pe no eye wono a pastor na no say Ghana for obegi dia na say omu anyi ne ndie eno ne individual differences anuti eye Kennedy Agyapong e kan say Anas ade na wo ye no Anas na mu no oye criminal ena Anas no ni kwan so ye no ho say obi a sabi onye bone na oyiyi nkrofo to ene ade no Kennedy Agyapong ono so ebe kire ne pa ene ne Kennedy Agyapong share ase eye allegations say in 2019 Abrante no ne Anas Aremeyaw Anas eye adwuma mekire Ahmed Hussein Swale ni wonum pukura no Anas Aremeyaw Anas oka ho bi ena biemu no nso no o kire se Anas Aremeyaw Anas wakokunkum China fo bi ena biemu no nso allegation sa de to no so se Anas Aremeyaw Anas one nkrofo bi abo apam conspiracy bi ama nkrofo akunkum nkrofo bi ene okeka nsem bebre edeto ne so na sansem we se na Anas show emu a odi kopie court ewo my Ghana mu na no na court ewo Ghana mu a omo etena sansem ne so no eka se asem we de Kennedy Agyapong then honorable Odibem enu nti Anas nso ante ne ho ase ene wotam asem no edi kopie mu America na Anas akopie mu America no enye wono nko a ene koye na emom no wone ne lawyers mako 4 ene ka ne ho a omu ekoye lawyers no baako dindi Andrew Dehe ena 1 America ena 1 Crow ena lawyer baako no nso ne din edi Evans Selassie Adeka ene ne omu di asem yi ekopie mu ewo USA New Jersey court bi a ewo honum na eno na omo atra asem ne so every 2021 a ebesi ena sabre no ensem ni nyina aba ewiye afei no mamemfa nwura ensem ni mu entoaso ewo America honum mesro sesa won subscribe to your YouTube channel ya pomodi na subscribe na turn on the notification bell so de beye ne the video bi a ebeto so a won sabetumi aka na wanya bi ahwe mesro ya no like video no share video no ede amaye o comment no na de ato comment section no asini edi nkomo ede efri honum so Facebook ya no follow ye no abeka WhatsApp TV ebusuaku no ho medasi on se mediki aka kire se asem we say no eba ye no Ghana court edikan atena so ajeje asem no abu asem ne de ama Kennedy Agyapong se Odibem ewo asem no ho okay fine enuti ebra Anas Aremeyaw Anas one ne lawyers yi etena se a omude asem no ekọ New Jersey court honum no na Anas Aremeyaw Anas $30 million se asem no ebo Kennedy Agyapong dia ti asem ni yo but Anas lawyers no etu ne for say 30 ne de do so omunye ne 18 because at least I had any one ni din no person or clear na Ghana fo ehunu say onye enipa bonefo said de Kennedy Agyapong eka no na eno na Anas agree with the lawyers no eka ye no a che say any case e kosoa na Kennedy Agyapong the papers Anas enkrata a free court a omo eko ewo my Ghana mu a e kire say Kennedy Agyapong edibem no enso etua mu kodi adanse ewo eye US abridgment mu meche New Jersey baby a omo eka asem no na court no eka say those papers no enye adwuma wo honum ena asem na omo eka no omo nka ne se de Ghana de no etie na mum no omo ka na Frenchem enu nti omo a omo bua asem no eye abontensefo enye judges na mum US ordinary people ye bi ena ebua asem no na nipa mako 8 ordinary people obi abua asem na obua Kennedy Agyapong for na chese nipa mako 8 no omu nyina e supporto Anas Aremeyaw Anas enti Kennedy Agyapong ehunu se wo toa so na wakoso se obedi nsem na chia ade se at the end of the day no $18 million na Anas Aremeyaw ene ne lawyers no pese omo egie no ade se ebeye adwuma ne tintin ne tetemu no o so mutwa asem no so na sika ode be compensate Anas Aremeyaw Anas oni ne team no $10,000 na eno na Anas Aremeyaw Anas one ne lawyers no omo mpeso mbeje that particular sika no because that 18 million no kra na omo eka no omo chese senka asem no bo Kennedy Agyapong a anka beye times 5 na ode wa check hwe 18 million mako 5 aje senka ano ebeye din pa na asem no say no still na eguso as sika asem no omo eka say court no ebeje atum ama Kennedy Agyapong atua $10,000 edi ama Anas Aremeyaw Anas say ene no omo bekoso na 18 million no watua no at the end of the day no ye behunu eno ho asem nso na say the American no ade say even cross court no accept say omo entua eye 10,000 no enfama Anas Aremeyaw Anas wone ne team na enye 10,000 kwako but obetua no times 5 na just be $50,000 ena Kennedy Agyapong ebetumi etua ni nyina say o ama court no amere ena wantwetwe ensem no anko akiri na eno ena say no ye twen decision a ebefri court no aba na just ye hunu ni a etua mu ankasa sa ensem we say ene ne a ekeka ho a lawyer ono so eka Anas etim ho ede betu dwa no o kan ye ede kire public no ache se me do ba beko na yakọ na yakotie ensemo a Ivan Selassie adeka ade betu dwa no yemongura mu na de yenko enkotie bi sikasam no kra se no enkrofo attention e content but the personality anas personality no eno ena se enkrofo gusu a omu eka eho asemo a omu se na anas no wonu ni anas ono no hwan onsu hwebie ne fa comment eto comment section no ase sa source we say no if we loud silence omu akache ena ebaye ebra na Kevin Taylor one eye Evans Selassie adeka edi enkomo no yakwanyen kotie ensem no emu details so pa emfa emfiri honum na yemra.
You know, the interesting thing is I quite remember that you were sued in the US sometime in 2021.
Yes.
And that actually caused my clients to begin inquiring about possibly if there's if there was anything out there, whether it will be actionable in the US. So you have some significance to today's events. So shortly after, when you were going through your motion to dismiss, we actually took a keen interest in that case and reviewed all the pleadings. And during that time also, my client informed me of a video that was circulating on social media. I just say, yeah, papa no, and someone just like okay, about my client. So, like, you know, as the intellectuals that we are, we started opening the books and try to see where we can lay a claim. And so, interesting enough, I mean, after reviewing the video, I you know, in our training, there's something that we are taught. Say, in your case, a case, no, it has to pass the test, and the case has to stand on all fours, which means that you do an analysis of whether there's jurisdiction in place, whether you have all the elements of each claim that you want to bring, you know. So we went through all of that, and my conclusion was yes, on the basis of video now, my client is send them, you know. You tweet back court New Jersey, as I say, yeah, papa no video no, so yeah, papa na and the moon some say or kase fini fie New Jersey. Now when you say the diaspora is very important. Obviously, what you do is testament to that fact. And you know, there was an audience that he spoke to. We're Ghana for. They all take a keen interest in the happenings in Ghana, especially the politics in Ghana. So we thought, you know, there was solid grounds for us to be in the court in New Jersey. So I advised my clients accordingly. Now, when you say a lawyer. So obviously, he was an integral part of what was going on in the preparatory stage. At that time, I am a U.S. trained lawyer, but I currently only practice in Ghana. And you know, there was a team of us. I'd like to say congratulations to my learned colleague Odette Crow. He was a part of yes, he was counsel of record in Ghana. So I pulled him into the research, and we drafted a complaint. And like a lawyer, so we did the work, and he actually filed it himself. So you know, after the preliminary back and forth, you know, initially the case was we sued in 2022.
Okay. Yes.
We filed suit sometime, I think.
The complaint.
Yeah, sometime, I think, in the summer of 2022.
May 17th, 2022.
Yes. And you know, by law, no, there was a period by which Yapapano Anka was or responded with what is known as an answer. But so Yapapano Anka filed a response, and my case no call into default. Now, after a period of default, you know, you can actually go for judgment. Now, a case near Fale, you know, we filed on 3 counts. But I couldn't say a chrome or a chrome 4. The second one was or you would in terms of or behind the medal of Yenuya Ahmed Swale.
Yeah.
Now, the third one, so say Yenuya no a serial killer in terms of Woku Chinese for Bibi Ghana. And then the fourth one is or a criminal. The blanket word criminal. And then the fifth one by implication, or say, behind would same biana, that means say biana no trigger man and also no will be second and say perform the physical act that led to the foreseeable events, which is obi so we also included a count that he is that he claims that my client a co-conspirator in multiple serial killings. So that was basically the gravamen of our complaint. And when it went undefended after the response time, now we began to make preparations to move for judgment. But being that I was in Ghana and we are all based in Ghana, we reached within our network and we partnered with two brilliant lawyers who I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate. Agyapong Esquire, he was the father figure of the team of lawyers, and a brilliant trial lawyer by the name of Andrew Dehere. These are all brilliant Ghanaian lawyers on this case. And at that point, we recruited them as counsel of record, and the case went at that point. Kennedy's lawyers came in, obviously because near the judgment for the full $30 million. And so he had counsel, and counsel came and also did his thing. Reopen default. They argued that they had a solid defense, and I think right around then, and I almost got judgments from Ghana. Almost really see it. And I don't know, so say almost defense to case I follow New Jersey.
We knew
but
Ghana, so our case no
exactly.
It's only a no almost case. Okay.
So as defense against, but the interesting thing is that defamation sits here, say kind of my the work for court. It's a separate case.
Yeah.
It's not to mean to Ghana and family defending way. You still have to prove the truth of it. And this time, in this jurisdiction, the law is the same essentially because but you sound so free other countries. There are certain times that even though any of presidential value, I just said, judge into me so India, but to me the two na senior especially in cases maybe you decided that type of a case. And Emrano is the same as Ghana. Procedurally, there are certain nuances, sometimes in terms of certain dates, you have to do certain things by. And also in New Jersey, Emra here drafted complaints. We were fully aware that we were required to prove what we were claiming by a higher standard than in Ghana.
Yeah.
In this case, and not even that. In this case, we were required to prove our case not by the normal civil standard, but by a clear and convincing evidence standard.
Okay.
And they responded with that, and they were able to successfully reopen the default, which paved way for them to file an answer. And they filed an answer which essentially claimed that there was some sort of back and forth between him and Anas. And we took it for what it's worth, and we forged on. And we finally got our trial date sometime earlier this year, and it was postponed. And then we finally went to trial last Monday. We started trial on Monday, and we put up our case. My client testified. He testified. He brought other witnesses, and after listening to both sides. Senior the difference between what happened with Ghana and Ghana say trial by jury and judge or judge back one I say judge me no I say judge me and send a BDS seminar. But normal people on the streets of New Jersey, tax-paying citizens, and a twin from. So as part of the defense, I think it's only fair that a charges counts now the buy and the civil claims now the buy. His defense was also although Oka said it was some sort of just based banter between him and Union. He came to court and asserted truth as his defense. And so
time I caught say sa counting na mode bono no say on Anas back and forth, right? The honor claim or make it. or say na banta I just say we can wait tina and sheda or no they na all can you say obi to be more almost to more
but oh, you do court me there. That was not.
And yes, I know what kind. Ura court no G2.
Yeah, be or maintaining the position say no can originate or that standing by no kind.
Okay.
It's basically remember just or practice no crane di no onye boni bia.
Okay.
So to support that no or the move your try your internet to who watches a watchman. But they are also by as on only defense, and you know, so the jury had the opportunity to evaluate that and factor that in the analysis. And obviously, it was not the weight that they wanted the jury to accord to it. So the jury never bugui. And you know, about 20 minutes later, the jury came back with a verdict, and there were the multiplicity of very quick. And there was a multiplicity of questions that were posed to the jury. That's the way how they arrived at the decision. It's, you know, and also no unanimous. People who were picked off the streets of not picked off the streets of New Jersey, but they're to from based on address, voter registration data. And to but within 20 minutes, they saw through everything and said no. So they came back and there was not even one juror that sided with Yapapana Samuakam.
All against
8-0 on every count and on every question that was posed to the jury, including damages now about no Biedun Komono. And also crown there was a unanimous decision. I just say it was a solid decision of the jury. 20 minutes on say there was no doubt in our presentation to what you kind of lay people. These are not experts in the law.
Yeah, they are just
these are lay people
who just sat and used their common sense to come to a conclusion.
No. I will not say use their. I will not say use their common sense.
They listen to you and they listen to the other part. It makes sense though.
And then the law is the law. No judge in this world has any power to bend the law. That sort of conduct is what causes strife and war in places.
Yeah.
America had the judge actually before the judge ever kind jury instruction, but catch your jurors and say, "Oh no, only to be well." It's asking we na you know kwa between say obe camera actual match mumu. And that's how it went. But you know what's interesting about Nisi and or a lawyer contrary, even though people don't give him credit for that.
At least Bonidina Anas asem na working.
But you Anas, Anas. And also a very astute lawyer, Onimumrapa, new beer, your dream mano. And and some people walk cry a car on Jintumu, but sometimes a team of legal team to we come to a compromise. Now he has been adamant about clearing his name because I have a personal experience of understanding. It's one of the worst things that can happen to someone.
Yeah.
And he absolutely took the position there. He wanted a trial. He's not interested in any settlement. He's not here for the money. He's here to clear his good name that he has built over time. And in his profession, at this time, Anka also started doing one. So he always maintained that he wanted a trial to the point where sometimes there was a disagreement in the legal team. Now, procedurally, America, trial, the peace. Schedule there, and from this time to this time, staff that work out we are dedicating it to your case. It's no small matter.
I know. I've been there. It's not easy.
Before they will go to trial, there's mandatory settlement conference. I better say maybe by this time we'll be say grown or they'll commit to the rights and senses and decide say this shouldn't go on because yes. And I acquire unfortunately me and Anas disagreed with me, but I prepared a settlement memorandum that sought to settle this case for $18 million, just like the jury came back. as you know, these days we have all kind of tools that we can use to predict certain things.
Before you go ahead,
Mm-hmm.
This is where the contention is, and people saying 80 million, others saying a year 30 million. You know, now when you read,
Well, we'll come to that. Let me clarify. Let me just clarify.
Yeah.
Okay, complaints there the coin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, claim for $30 million, $30 million.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. And what I'm saying is that at the before the mandatory settlement conference, or before the jury is empaneled,
Mm-hmm.
Even though my client had firmly informed me he had no intention of settling this case because he believes that he ought to go to a jury of his peers to clear his name.
Mm.
But maybe let's just prepare our settlement memorandum, be thorough and be reasonable.
Yeah.
And even though he protested, I prepared a settlement memorandum that sought to settle this case for $18 million US. Okay. Now you do settlement conference, papa about court. Now the lawyers just say what he was willing to settle this matter for, and they said $10,000. So honestly,
it's clarification is very, very important. Normally Ghana.
Okay.
Into Muko Drew Hono. And that's initially, you have a kind of simple street language, and the damages are not paid around $30 million. And the client and Anas Kasa say, a woman saw for $30 million, and yes, he can't all pay. In fact, he wants his name to be cleared, and then any priority of going to court.
Yes.
But because of the experience, now unim Sibia and your Matiano, no client here Anas Kasa and say, it will be better and to be reasonable to at least settle on $80 million. And okay, I said, no client and us, you did not really agree, but because he respects you as his counsel and as a lawyer, you people ended up around that money, around that figure, which is $80 million.
Oh yes, and like I said, your lawyer at Aremeyaw, New York.
Oh, yeah.
And also come home. And Andrew D here.
Yeah, you are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Aremeyaw is there.
Yes,
D here is there. Crow is there. Yourself. Basically, as we are speaking to all of them because.
Yes. So the whole team agreed on that, but he was the only reluctant one in settling the matter. But procedurally, we couldn't go to trial without actually going through to the settlement conference.
Yes.
In spite of his reservations, we still almost cut our demand down to about a little over half.
Okay.
But to our surprise, papa no buy and also no bet $10,000 to end the case.
No.
I want an arbitrator who said no, some way I'm sure so I can papers, So he said basically go and take your gamble in the courtroom. So that's how we ended up going to trial. So to go back to how it ended, so at about 4:50 on Thursday. And the jury brought us in and they told us what unanimously what they had arrived at. But we decided to keep it under wraps because there was a component you multiply 18 million by 5 money do 90 million for a total of about
that was the plan.
Yeah, that was the plan. Yeah, because
to do that. Okay.
Yes. And then you decided to say back to your board with coming public with the finding of culpability on Thursday.
Yeah.
We ended up leaving that alone. A pursuit of ×5 because almost file emotions be I just say or see a 2 in terms of that and sana say one way or another I could pursue that ×5 and I say depending on what happens, maybe I bet me German and cafe. But at this time, almost my court no say almost busa into so.
Okay.
Not just a way and someone a free New Jersey. Abruchimemu Kota or Honum, Aba Abetoja said, dear, Honorable Kennedy Japan, as why she ye pa. Now, say, quarter no air penny at the 10,000 at the ama, anas new 20 ×5. Begin the say in the winner, ne Humberton Kakra dance a quarter no, best stretch. na ne akoduru 80 million times 5 I just want to say yes I did no ano be dem but whatever the case is no said the wote ye no emra ne nkrabia ebe kire na ne ebesi won sem wei achibia no eye ade se yasote a me de ho asem so ebebro image a wo hu ye Anas ne picture ana ne video ugidi se eye Anas personality ne gina hoyi Anas hwan because Anas de yahu na hodo bebre won so kire wadwen fa to comment section no asini ni nkomo emfa emfiri ho no mesra so won subscribe ya bomodia na subscribe na turn on the notification bell so de be na the video bia ebeto so a won sabeka na wanya bi ahwe so Facebook abomodia na follow ye na become WhatsApp TV ebusuakuo no eho mesra ya no like no ahwe video no e de amaye o comment no fa to ho no mo yi bedi nkomo e o comment section no ase don't forget #support Kofi Adoma ngwani upe information na ko description box nim na fa information na wonso donate bibi kaka e fa boa ye nua panyin Kofi Adoma ngwani ye be say share bio but until then no dear macau